Hello everyone, this is Gracie here. In this video, we'll be discussing standard costing, which is a part of budgeting and control, chapter 4 from performance management. So under standard costing, so let us understand what is standard costing first. Cost figures in general may be divided in two broad classes, that is historical cost and predetermined cost. So when we speak about historical cost are available only after the completion of the production. So as soon as the production is over, you will get the data of the cost, so how much you have spent. So these costs, which can be used to ascertain, which can be ascertained only after the process is over or the actual expenses has been incurred. So in such cost, figures may have some values in correcting past practices if they are carefully analyzed, but inefficiencies and errors of production cannot be detected until after the damage has been done. So as I've told, there are two types of cost, which is historical and predetermined cost. Historical cost is the cost which is known or which has been incurred or which will be known only after the production. So in this cost, it includes all the damage expenses, unnecessary expenses which is spent. So this cost cannot be changed because this is the cost which is being brought or which is calculated after the production has been done. As it is calculated after the production is done, this historical cost can be used as the data or input for the further or future production. So keeping into consideration this historical cost which is already incurred in the past, it can help out for future production to know where to cut down the cost and where to use or where to invest more in the production sector. So what is predetermined cost is? Predetermined cost is before you start up the production, using this historical cost data, that is the data which you have where you have not done any predetermination, you have not done anything, the inefficiency of such production or the cost would have been incurred more in such productions. So you will take that historical data as a lesson for you to correct in your future. So in order to do that correction, a predetermined cost sheet will be prepared. So with the help of the historical data, what are the damages incurred? Why is the cost high? Where is the actual negligence which is made? Where is the inefficiency being incurred? This historical cost data will explain to prepare the predetermined cost before the production is starting. So in a predetermined cost, it will estimate what is the production, what is the cost to be incurred, and it will set up a standard. So this predetermined cost is also known as standard cost, where before producing that product using the historical data, you will set up or you will fix a cost for that particular product to be produced. So for example, to produce one item or one product, it takes 100 rupees. So you have predetermined, you have gone through the historical data where you have already incurred damages and where the inefficiency is less. With the help of such data, you have made effective changes and you have prepared a predetermined cost sheet. So based on this cost only, you will be doing your production. So all and this cost sheet, this predetermined cost sheet is also called as standard cost. So which is fixed and keeping this as the base, you will start your production. So if the standard cost or if the predetermined cost, as per the predetermined cost sheet or standard cost sheet, if the actual production is done, then you will be in a favorable situation. So that is nothing but where you will earn profit. But suppose the standard cost what you have set up and your actual production what you have done, if that cost varies, that is, if your standard cost what is set up is 100 rupees and the actual production cost what is incurred by you is 120 rupees. So here you have an idea to finish your production in with 100 rupees, but when you start producing, due to any circumstances or any situation has led you to invest more or has led you to incur more cost. So that is your actual production. So this from 100 is your standard and 120 is your actual production. So now your actual is more than your standard. So here what you have set is not met, so it is your adverse situation where what your estimation is not met actually. So there is, it is nothing but a kind of loss. Only when your standard is met as your actual, then your cost sheet what you have prepared in your production will go in a favorable situation. So now as you understood what is standard costing, let us get into the meaning of standard costing. So in this meaning of standard costing is the practice of estimating expenses of a production process. Yes, you are predetermining or estimating what is the expenses for the production process. It is a branch of cost accounting that's used by manufacturer, for example, to plan their cost for for the coming year on various expenses such as direct material, direct labor, or overheads. Next, standard cost is a predetermined cost. It is based on past experience and is referred to as a common sense cost, reflecting the best judgment of management. So, as I've already discussed, standard cost is the predetermined cost. So, based on the past experiments, they use it as a reference to make sense for the cost which is to be done in the future. So, it is like a judgment, or to make a good judgment, these predetermined costs will be ascertained. Standard cost relates to your product, services, process, or an operation. It is also determined for a normal level of efficiency of operation. Yes. So why has the standard cost been established is to make sure the cost is met within the bracket, no excess is spent, no excess is being wasted, and all the resources are effectively used. To have a normal level of efficiency in the operation, standard costs are being determined. Standard cost is used to measure the efficiency of future production or future operation. For this reason, it provides a useful basis for cost control. So, in order to have a control over the cost, yes. So, as we know, selling price minus cost price gives you profit. So, your cost price should be less than your selling price. So, the more you reduce your cost, your profit will increase more. So, when you set up a predetermined cost or a standard cost, it will help you to measure or increase the efficiency, and your future production will increase and future operation also will increase, which so the main target of the standard cost is to have have a control over the cost. So also standard cost may be expressed in terms of money or other exact quantities. So now when we go through the problems, you will understand how is being standard cost used. So next is objectives of standard costing. The first objective is to provide a formal basis for assessing performance and efficiency. Yes. So before you start up any activity, you first plan out. So when you go according to the planned process, your outcome will be great. So in the same way, a standard cost is set to have a formal basis for assessing performance and efficiency, to control cost by establishing standards and analysis of variances. So you will look into the variances which has been occurred from the standard what you have set as the planned data, and by the actual production what you have got. So what is the variance between your standard and your actual, what is the difference is being estimated. Then, to enable the principle of management by exception to be practiced at the detailed operation level. Yes. So when you set up standard cost, it will help you to make a clear classification of each cost, and you will have a clear inspection or supervision where the cost to be reduced, or to stop the wastage of all the resources where the costs can be reduced. So it will help the management to have a detailed study on each cost levels in the organization. Then, to assist in setting budgets. Yes. So when you know the standard cost, it will help you to set up the budget is nothing but you're setting up a target, so based on that you will follow it. So standard costing is nothing but setting up a proper budget. Then, to assist the standard costs are readily available substitutes for actual average units cost, and can be used for stock and work in progress valuation, profit planning and decision making, and as a basis of pricing where cost plus systems are used. So by setting up standard cost, it will help you to have a track over the stock what you are having, and what is your work in progress, how much is your task over, because you already have a budget. So according to that you are going. So it will help you to ascertain what is the current stock level, what is the pending work, or what is the work in progress happening in the organization. Will the company be, or will the industry be able to produce get proper decision making. So it help to make profit planning, proper decision making and pricing for the product, because you are ascertaining the cost. It will tell you how much profit to be charged if you are charging profit based on cost plus profit system. Next, to assist in assigning responsibility for non-standard performance in order to correct deficiencies or to capitalize on benefits. Yes, so when you're setting up standard cost, you make sure that you concentrate on each activity or each cost what you are spending on. So like this, it will give you to give responsibility to take up activities which to be performed in order to reduce the cost. It can be all minute activities where major of the cost can be reduced. For example, electricity expenses will vary. So when the machine is not in use, it's better to switch off the electricity. When people are not working in the organization, it is better to switch off the fans and lights. So all these will give responsibility for non-standard performance. So like this, when each cost is been or each activity is concentrated, major cost can be reduced. Then to motivate staff and management, yes, standard costing is nothing but a target which is given to the employees to finish this target within the set, to make sure that the production is done within this target. So it motivates the employees to make sure that the cost will never move out of the standard cost. So if it is moving, they will, however, in order to get good recognition, they will make sure that the cost, the actual production or the cost which is incurred on actual production will be met according to the standard cost. Then to provide a basis for estimating, yes, standard cost is where it will help you to estimate what is the future. So sometimes estimation works, sometimes due to non-favorable situations, estimation will lead to loss. So most of the time estimations will support the system. To provide guidance on possible ways of improving performance, so it is like a guidance which helps to increase the performance or improve the performance. So next what we are going to learn is total cost variances. So now as we understood what is the cost, standard cost, so now we will be learning about variances. So what is variances? The difference between standard cost and actual cost is known as cost variances. So as I've already told, the difference what you get from the standard what you have set and the actual production, so the difference, as I've told, 100 rupees for is your standard, and by due to any reason, it can be any reason, the actual production is 120. So what is the difference here? 100 minus 120, your actual production is more. So it is standard cost minus actual cost, which is 100 minus 120 will give you 20. So it is your adverse situation where you have not met your standard cost. So that variance, that difference is nothing but variance in the cost. So these variances is divided into three: total cost variance, material cost variance, labor cost variance, overhead cost variance. So we need to concentrate on all these three topics. So now when we talk about material cost variance, so in a production department, you require material, you require labor, you require overheads. Overheads is nothing but all the other expenses which assist the production. So it is, when it is materials, it is the raw materials which is the basic requirement for producing. So when you get raw materials, it is essential to have laborers to work based on the hours, based on the wages, based on the hours they work, wages will be given to them. Then overheads are other expenses which is to be met in order to complete the production. So now we will be discussing one by one. So now when we talk about material cost variances, so it is when we talk about material cost variances, it is the cost which is incurred in acquiring a material. So what is the difference or what is the variance with the set and with the actual? So material cost variance is divided into material price variance, material usage variance. So the difference between the standard cost of direct materials specified for the output achieved and the actual cost of direct materials used. So the difference what you get from the standard materials what you have assigned, that you are going to use only so much direct materials, but for getting the specified production. But when you get into your actual production, the materials what you're going to use will be higher. For example, 100 units you're going to use is what is your standard. But due to, it might be any reason of negligence of the employees, or due to stoppage of machineries, or due to damage in the raw material, what happens, the level of usage of materials will increase, raw materials will increase. So from 100 it will increase to 130, 120 or something like that. So that variance is what you have from your set which is 100, and your actual work which is led is 130 or 120. So that 30 rupees or 20 rupees difference is nothing but material cost variances, which is incurred with the difference with standard and actual. So now, with this material cost variance, the basic formula for material cost variance will be, so the material cost variance formula, which can also be called as MCV, which is material cost variance. So the formula for it is SQ, that is standard quantity, into SP, that is standard price. Only when you multiply with your quantity with your price, you will be getting your cost. So the standard quantity into standard price minus actual quantity into actual price. So the standard cost and the actual cost you will minus to get your material cost variances. So SQ is what? Standard quantity, SP is standard price, AQ is actual quantity, AP is actual price. So next, so as I've already told, your material cost is divided into material price variance and material usage variance. So let us discuss what is material price variance. So under material price variance, MPV is equal to actual quantity which is multiplied by standard price minus actual price. So when we talk about material price variance, this the difference in the price what you have set. uh, Material price variance is that portion of material cost variance which is due to the difference between standard price specified and actual price paid. Yes, so now you have set up a price for procuring raw materials. It can be, okay, procuring cotton. So you are procuring it in 2 3 bags. So 3 bags are at the cost you 1,000 rupees. So you have set a price that you will be paying to the vendor who's supplying the cotton only 1,000 rupees for 3 bags. But your as you are producing there, due to any negligence or due to any damages, it can be any damage, uncertainty situations also, it can be a fire in the warehouse or anything like that, or due to natural calamities. So what you have met, your standard is 1,000 with 3 bags of cotton, but your actual what you are going to buy is which goes on from due to any damages, you will buy 4 bags, so you'll buy 1 bag extra. So where you're supposed to pay overall for 4 bags, you will be paying 1,300. So when you're paying 1,300, it is like you are incurring more. So you have set a target by this year, you are going to use only 3 bags of cotton, which costs you 1,000, but the price is varying from your actual production. So that 1,000 minus 1,300 will give you a difference of 300 rupees. So that 300 is nothing but the price what you have paid excess to the vendor apart from your standard price. So now the variance represents the excess cost or savings resulting from the purchase of direct material at prices above or below the standard price set for the material. So if the standard price, if you have paid to the vendor less than the standard price what you have set, no problem. But when you're paying more than the standard price what you have set, then it is a adverse situation. As you all know, what is the meaning of adverse? So it can be a situation where you are bearing a loss. So the formula for material price variance, which is MPV, is equal to standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. So where you know what is your actual quantity. So with your actual quantity, the difference in your standard price minus actual price multiplied with your actual quantity will give you your material price variance. Because as you're concentrating on price, you will be taking your standard price minus actual price, then you will be multiplying with your quantity. So this is material prices variances will be incurred majorly. The factors or the reasons for incurring material price variances: changes in market price. So when there are market prices change, so might be cotton prices now will be 1,000 for 3 bags, but the market based on the demand, as the demand is more, there is chance of increasing or decreasing the level of the the price level of the product. So they might increase it or they might decrease it. So when there is changes, the actual and standard will vary. uneconomical size of purchase order. Yes, so your purchase order is only 3, but if you are increasing it to 4 purchase orders, the price also will increase. So you can't meet your standard price what you have set. Then failure to obtain cash discounts. So when you are not able to obtain cash discounts, for example, your on cash discounts will be given by a vendor to the purchaser only when he is paying the cash immediately for the purchase of the raw materials. So if he is using delay payment or credit facilities, that cannot be discounts cannot be availed or enjoyed by the purchaser. So when there is failure in availing cash discounts, then that will also lead to changes in the material price. Then uneconomical transportation cost. Yes, so if the transportation cost increases, yes, so when you're bringing the raw materials from one place to the another, that transportation cost also will be incurred in the cost of the material. So that changes in the uneconomical transportation cost also will lead to changes in the price. Then off season purchasing, especially for seasonal product. Yes, so if you are purchasing that product during that season, then the cost will be bearable, where you can buy it, more quantity of the products can be bought with reasonable price. But if you are purchasing any product when the season is not there, then it is difficult, where you need to pay more and buy that product. For example, it can be any product. So if it is a fruit, or if it is anything, or if it is a sweater, so if you buy the sweater, so if you're purchasing a sweater during the season, then it will be reasonable. But if you're purchasing it off season, then actually, or the cost will be more. So then if it comes to material substitution, so instead of using for example, instead of using one particular product, there are substitutes which is available for the products. So when you use substitution for the material, then that will also lead to variances. So for example, substitution for a product is, so when it is substitution of raw materials, it can be usage of iron rods instead of copper rods. So substitution can be where it can reduce the wastage. Majorly, raw material substitution is done to reduce wastage and to reduce the cost. So instead of using iron, or instead of using copper, the vice versa goods are being used. For example, instead of using electricity, solar energy will be used. So this using solar energy will reduce the cost on electricity charges. So this is nothing but substitution which has been adopted in order to reduce the wastage in production. So this variances differences also leads to price variances. So next what we are going to discuss is the second part. So as we discussed, material cost variance is divided into two parts, which is material price variance and material usage variance. So under material price variance, we have discussed the formula is also learned. Now under material usage, what is the formula? And under material usage, there are two types: material mix variance and material yield variance, where you will be using it for calculating or while solving the problems. So now let us get into material usage variance. So material usage variance is, the formula for it is standard price into standard quantity minus actual quantity. So the previous formula what we discussed is material price. So we concentrated on the price, where the formula for it was actual price into standard price minus actual price. So it is actual quantity into standard price minus actual price, because we concentrated on the price. So in the next problem, it is usage, that is the quantity what you are using and what is the difference in the quantity. So now that is nothing but standard price into standard quantity minus actual quantity. So when is the variances in usage or quantity occurs is changes in market price of materials, defects in plants and machinery causing excess consumption of materials. Yes, then you need to acquire more raw materials, so the usage will increase. Carelessness in the use of materials. Yes, so when you're careless in use of materials, you need to buy more and more quantity of raw materials. So then faulty workmanship. So when the workmen are not concentrating on their work, change in specification or design of the product. When the design or specification in the products is changed, then the quantity varies. Then use of material mix other than standard mix. So like instead of using the actual mix what you have adopted will be when it is more than your standard what you have set up. So now these are the reasons where it leads to variances in the material. So when the quantity varies, obviously the price also varies. So this material usage variance is divided into two, which is material mix variance and material yield variance. So what is material mix variance? So when we talk about material mix variance, it is all about uh, the changes or the material is I'm sorry, the material mix variance is that part of material usage variance which is due using a mixture which does not comply with predetermined standard mixture. Material mix variance is that portion of material usage variance which is due to the difference between standard and actual composition of the mixture. This variance arises in industry like chemicals, rubber, etc., where definite proportion of different raw materials are mixed to get a product. So now as material usage variance, so how is the usage differs is, as per the last point, there are the major reason is use of material mix other than standard mix. So where you mix two or three materials into the production, then the usage of the materials vary. So when it is divided into material mix and material yield, material mix talks about the variance which is arising by using one or more raw materials for producing a product, where two raw materials are also mixed together to produce one single product, is known as material mix variance. So when we talk about material yield variance, like material mix variance, there is also a sub variance of material usage variance, which is nothing but material yield variance. The variances arises when actual yield obtained differs from standard yield. So what is yield? Yield is nothing but the return what you get from producing a product, or the return what you get by investment what you are making. So the yield what you get is very important. So when there is difference in the actual and the standard, that variance or that difference is called as material yield variance when it is related to procuring materials. So now let us get into the formula of material mix variance and material yield variance. So your material mix variance is equal to standard cost of standard mix minus standard cost of actual mix. So mix variance formula is standard cost of standard mix minus standard cost of actual mix. So your standard cost of standard mix minus standard cost of actual mix will give you your material mix variance. Then when we talk about material yield variance, which is MYV, material yield variance is equal to standard rate into actual yield minus standard yield. So the difference from your actual yield and standard yield will be multiplied with the standard rate to get your material yield variance. So how to find out the standard rate is, the formula for it is standard cost of standard mix divided by standard yield. So it is must for you to learn these formulas to solve the problems relating to material mix variance, material yield variance, which is these are the subdivisions under material usage variance. So I hope you understood the formula for it. So in the next video, we will be discussing about the problems based on this topic.